Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here, and welcome to our final episode of Moms Like Us 2021. To celebrate, we're counting down our 10 best celebrity mom and dad interviews of the year. To kick it off, number 10 goes to our favorite WWE ladies, Nikki and BRIE Bella. Now, these two moms share just about everything with us, but sometimes their husbands aren't too happy with their oversharing. Take a look. Have either one of you ever gotten in trouble for what you've divulged about your relationships thus far?
Oh, yes, we both have.
Yeah, Artem one time, because a lot of stuff I say make headlines, and it was something about our sex life. And I remember he showed me and he goes, really? I mean, you have to talk about all that? I'm like, yeah, good thing. I'm like, I put you over. And he goes, that doesn't matter. And I'm like, well, I think that's good. I mean, I'd like if you talked about me that way, like said I was good in bed and all that. And he's very private, and especially when it comes to bedroom talk and all that. And he gets really embarrassed with all that. Or when I talked about like having hemorrhoids, he's like, I can't believe I told people about your hemorrhoids. And I'm like, it's real life. Like, so you know what it's like to push out a baby. Can you guess that?
Well, and Brian will always just be like, when is it enough info you give to everyone where you feel like it's also okay to be private? Yeah. And I told him, I was like, Brian, I feel like I was put on earth to be as open as possible so people know it's okay. And he's like, that's your purpose? I'm like, that's my purpose, to just be fully honest, authentic, raw and real, so that other people can listen and be like, thank goodness I'm not alone. So that's how I look at it. So that's what I told him. So I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that are in people's head, not even shoulders, of like stuff that you actually say. And then we're there to like, just say it out loud.
Yes. Up next, number 9 goes to Jessie James Decker. When we asked her how she makes alone time for her and her husband, Eric Decker, she kept it really real. Check it out.
Has this time in quarantine tested your relationship at all, or has it brought you guys closer together? Because obviously you have 3 kids running around. It's a lot of togetherness. It's a lot going on.
For sure. No, and I'll be honest, and I'll tell you why. I think because we kind of got our test a year before, because Eric retired from football. And so when he was playing before, he was gone more. I was used to kind of just taking over the kids and doing everything on my own. When he was playing football, and so then after he retired, we were kind of, I guess, quarantined together. Like he didn't have a job to go to. He was laying low, and we were just together all the time, 24/7. But we're one of those weird couples that we just like that. We like being together. We're best friends. And so it was totally fine. It was not a shock is what I'm saying. So this year, being quarantined together, I think the only challenge was we had to finally get a lock on the door. Let's just say that. We never had a lock on our bedroom door. And we had some close calls a few times. So he finally put a lock, and that was the only challenge. We didn't have any of that time together. And so we figured it out, got the lock on the door, and we call it iPad time. So we can have it's too much information.
I love that. That was so funny. I love that iPad time. Mommy and Daddy have their iPad time now. And then they're banging on the door.
Every parent knows this trick.
Then they're banging on the door. They're like, Mom, Dad, what are you doing? You're like, iPad time.
It's the worst.
Got to get those locks on those doors. Coming in at number 8, Jill and Derrick Duggar opened up about how therapy helped them through some difficult times.
You mentioned therapy. I mean, how has it changed your marriage, over the course of however many months that you guys have done it? It seems like it's really helped.
It has. Yeah. It has been therapy so for years good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, it was one of those things where we knew therapy was helpful, but until we got to like the point where we were like desperate, where we really needed it, we didn't venture out to like actually sign up for it and start that. So, I mean, yeah, it's been so helpful just learning to communicate as a couple, attuning, like they like to call it, and knowing your triggers, knowing those things. Like, even if you don't have some big reason that you feel like you need to go, I mean, for us, we did, but like, it's just super
it's
helpful.
Helped, like, recognize things for what they are and address them instead of just have an unhealthy reaction to them.
And both of us have always wanted to work things out. And so even realizing sometimes, there might be you want to work things out, but also maybe you need to go on a run first and then come back and work things out.
Right. Yeah. Just
like that desires there. So like you need to start the conversation, obviously, but doesn't mean you have to finish it at 2 a.m., you know? So,
and people assume that therapy is something you need whenever there's an issue between a couple, but it might be something that you as a couple are facing together. That would be helpful, and just
challenges.
like, how you can relate to each other in addressing a mutual problem.
Life is hard. So like, no matter what it is, you might see issues big or small, but we just see it as like being super helpful. I mean, I think it would be good for anyone to go to therapy, and
even the benefit if everything's going right in every aspect of your life, which I don't know if that exists, but even if that did exist, I still would think this would just take it to a whole nother level and help it that much more.
At number 7, Lala Ken detailed her first days as a new mom to baby Ocean. From the good to the bad, she didn't hold back. Watch this.
So what's been the hardest part of motherhood so far?
Oh, the hardest part, I think the waking up to feed would be up there because I'm a sleeper. And also, no one really prepares you that when your baby's crying, there's like not something on them that says like, oh, she's hungry, diaper change. And then when you complete all the things that they say it could be and she's still screaming, it's upsetting because you want to fix it and you also want it to stop.
Totally. You're frustrated. You're like, please just tell me what's going on. And you said that, are you really enjoying breastfeeding? Has it been an easy process for you, an easy journey, or was it hard for you in the beginning?
It has been amazing. And I kind of prepared myself for it to not be easy just because even my mom had told me she wasn't able to breastfeed because her milk wasn't coming in. I wasn't latching. So I knew right off the bat that breastfeeding was not something that you just get to do. It's kind of something that is, like I said before, this whole thing is like a hit or miss. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, which is why I find it so weird that people ask, like, are you going to breastfeed? It's like, well, number one, I may not want to because it can be very isolating. And number two, like, well, I hope I can.
Yeah. No, totally. I felt that way too, because it's a very isolating thing because all the pressure's on you to feed the baby at all times. And it's like, even in the middle of the night, even if Randall gave her the bottle, you still have to wake up to pump. So it's a full-time job.
Totally. Like, and I didn't realize that. I'm like, okay, well, there are some nights where, I can have a night nurse, but it's like, well, you're still waking up to pump. So what's the difference?
Right.
Lala wasn't the only Vanderpump Rules star to open up to us about what those early days of parenting is like. At number 6, Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor also shared their stories. Take a look.
What was it like holding him for the very first time?
Oh my gosh.
I was petrified.
Yeah.
I was literally petrified. Yeah, for the first, I had to sit down. I did the skin on skin. I didn't want to break him. I just had this thing. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to break him. He's so delicate. But then when you see the nurses come in and they manhandle your child, they're just whatever. You're like, oh my God, what are you doing? But they're professionals. They do it like 100 times a day.
Yeah, I know.
But I was just so scared. I just had this, like, I thought I was going to drop him. So I was like, every time I held him, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to hold him. It was like a big deal. So I put pillows all around me. I held him like this. And I was like, okay, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk. Don't come near me. Don't go over there. Don't breathe on me. And I was just petrified. And then after a couple of days went by, I loosened up a little bit. I'm actually getting really good now.
He's gotten so much better and so much more comfortable. He still hasn't walked up the stairs with him yet.
I won't walk up the stairs.
But he's changing diapers and he's, because he was really scared at first with the umbilical cord and everything. Like,
yeah.
I was like, it's okay. I got it. And my mom was here for 2 weeks to help us out. That was amazing as well. But now we're literally on our own. So it's going good so far.
Good. I mean, what?
Yeah, we went the no help route. So we just kind of wanted to do this all ourselves, to see if we can do it. A lot of our friends got help and stuff like that. We were kind of going back and forth with it. And we're like, well, there's not much we can do outside anyways. It's not like we're working full time. So there's really no reason for it. So we decided to do it this way just to learn. We want to learn it all and be around for it all.
Good for you guys. It's no small task. I mean, Britney, what has your breastfeeding journey been like so far? I know for me, It was one of the most emotional experiences I ever went through because nobody prepared me for how hard it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like it was harder than labor at times. I mean, but how was it for you?
It's definitely hard. It's like a round the clock job, but that's for sure. Like if you're not feeding, you're pumping. I mean, you have to wear pads 24/7, you're raw. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it, but it was kind of hard in the beginning before my milk came in because I just could not tell what he was getting. I know he only needed like a small amount, but even now, like sometimes I get so worried he's not like fully satisfied. And because I can't see how much is going into him, and it like freaks me out a little bit. Like I know, like I love the bonding experience and stuff, but sometimes like pumping and putting it into a bottle where I can physically see how much he's getting, like I feel like he gets more satisfied like that sometimes. So I'm just trying to figure out like what's going to be best for him.
Yeah.
Because right now it's so super scary to think he might not be getting enough when he's just on my breast. But I'm sure he probably is. It's just something that's in my head, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, we do the vital doctor's appointments. He's on weight and everything, so everything is good.
Yeah, everything's good. So once we figured out his weight and everything was going up, I was like, okay.
Definitely.
But it just freaks you out because, I mean, you're the life source. So I'm like, oh my gosh, please be getting enough.
I'm sure he is. I know it is a stressful time. I mean, you know, and so many moms, obviously in the fourth trimester, you know, you're still in diapers, you're losing your hair. Is there anything that's surprising that has happened to you postpartum?
Just like, I hate to say it, but like how much you bleed and stuff after. Like I had Saucy and Lala, thank God, to like tell me like right away, because we went through this back to back, so it was super fresh in everybody's mind. I made sure to tell Sheena everything I knew because she was right after me. So I mean, just like how long, I mean, still the top half I'm wearing this oversized flannel for breastfeeding, the bottom half I still have on a disposable diaper and a pad, so I will not be standing up during this. But
it was classic. Like one of the days that she had two of those things, what are they called?
Hakas.
She had two hakas on. She had a diaper on. There was a dog treat stuck to her butt. And it was the hottest thing I've ever seen. I loved it.
I was like,
she just walked around. She's just like, I'm too hot for clothes. I don't need clothes.
Yeah, wearing this flannel right now, like I normally would not. I'd just be wearing a nursing bra and sweatpants if I'm wearing the sweatpants.
We just kind of gave up on it. We're just like, I don't care.
Those fourth trimester days are seriously no joke. All right, at number 5, we caught up with Tia Mowry, who shared her 68-pound weight loss journey after she welcomed her daughter.
You lost 68 pounds, right? After you had your daughter, which is so insane. You look incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that journey to get, to lose that post-baby weight.
Yeah. I think, again, first of all, for me, what always helps me is perspective, right? Knowing that, number one, this is going to take time. For some people, it happens right away. But for others, not so much. And embracing the journey, enjoying what you are and what you look like now, right? So there's this positive perspective with your weight loss. It's not, I want to lose weight to look better, right? So that really helped me just stay on the path. And it's about feeling good. So I started off slow, meaning with my workouts, instead of doing it 3 times out of the week, I'll just do it, once or twice out of the week. And then once my body started to get comfortable to it, then I would progress. So I think another tip is just starting off slow and then doing things that you absolutely love to do. If you love to roller skate, go roller skate. If you love to hula hoop, go hula hoop. Nobody has to tell you, nobody can tell you what you have to do, right? But just as long as you move your body and you're doing what you love to do, you'll find yourself being more consistent and steady with it. So that's what I did. And then I think the biggest component is watching what you eat, which is a huge factor. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Again, it starts with perspective for me that I want to feel great, because if I feel great, then I can be present to be the best mom I could possibly be, the best wife, the best sister, the best mother, the list goes on and on. So I just started to really look how foods made me feel. And that's one thing, like I said, that I love about with Lactate is I can enjoy whole foods, like real milk, because it's 100% real milk, just minus the discomfort. So if you're feeling, if you don't feel great, try to find another alternative. And I would say that's basically how, I did it. It took time, a healthy perspective, and then watching what I eat and understanding how food can be medicine, meaning how it can make you feel.
Now, she is seriously such an inspiration. All right, we're giving number 4 to a doting dad. Colin Hanks sat down with us and explained why he doesn't care to see his girls follow in his Hollywood footsteps.
Would you ever want to see them following your footsteps? And do they show any interest in that yet?
No, not really. No, I keep telling them they can do whatever they want. And hopefully they don't choose that.
Would you rather see them as soccer players or something else? Totally.
I mean, I really am more interested in seeing what what they choose to do and what they sort of gravitate towards. I think that's always an important thing as a parent to do. So yeah, we'll see what they choose.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Last we spoke with you, you said that they didn't understand really who Grandpa was. Is that still the case?
Well, they know who Grandpa is. Let's be very, very clear. They know who Grandpa is. As opposed to, what it is that Grandpa does. Look, they're aware of what he does for sure. This just the same way they're aware of what their father does for a living, but they don't really have much interest in it. So that's really the difference.
Do they have any favorite movies or TV shows that either one of you have done?
No, I mean, literally they have, look, I mean, I wasn't on Hannah Montana, so they don't really, they have no interest in what I do.
Love that they don't have much interest in what Grandpa Tom or Dad does. Speaking of, Freddie Prinze Jr. shared why he and Sarah Michelle Gellar's kids aren't allowed to watch all of Buffy the Vampire Slayer yet. Check out number 3. I know last time we spoke to Sarah, she said that the kids were slowly watching Buffy. Have they finished it? And what is their reaction?
They haven't finished yet. My son's only 9, so he's not old enough for some of the later seasons. And he's more into anime anyhow, which is much more grown up than Buffy was if you watch some of them. But he seems to like animated violence and magic powers and all that stuff. And he got me into it, where I discovered shows that wow, this is better than anything on television. Right. My Hero Academia is no joke. So there, I've gotten to see some cool stuff too, but he's still a little too young. And my daughter's 12, so she's at the age where everything her parents did is a categoric rejection before anyone says whether it's cool or not. She's already decided she's not interested. So that's where we're at right now.
That's where you're at right now. How do you both keep your kids so grounded?
We're strict as hell.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, look, my mom, I don't believe in whooping kids. I've never whooped mine. My mom whooped me. They were like preventative whoopings. You know what I mean? So I know how to be strict. Sarah knows how to be strict. We're strict.
Yeah. Is there a one rule in the house that everyone that they know that they can't break?
There's 100 rules they know they can't break. We're strict. There's not one that we are strict. Don't be your kids' friends. Friendships come and go. I tell my kids that all the time. Family is forever. So we have rules and they got to follow them.
We love a good throwback here at Us Weekly. And one of our favorite 90s stars is Candace Cameron Bure. We sat down with the mom of 3 earlier this year and had to know what her dating rules are for her kids. Take a look at number 2.
What advice do you give to them when they're looking for the one or their life partner? I know, have you seen Natasha's TikTok videos where she's looking for the one, I assume?
Oh, I might have missed some of them.
Okay. We follow her.
I don't think I don't know, maybe I have. I want my children to find people that are like-minded, meaning their values and morals and faith are all the same, and they complement one another, and really a spouse that is going to challenge them in the best of ways, meaning bring out the best in them and challenge to rise above and be better and better, not in performance, but the best version of themselves.
Absolutely. That's good advice. Do you have separate advice for each of them too? Like Natasha needs a guy like this, or Lev needs a girl like this.
Of course I do. I'm their mother. I know exactly what each of my children need. They don't know, but I do. But I will share that with them in different ways because they all receive advice differently.
Good point. Good point.
I'm a little more forthcoming with some of my children more than others.
I understand. Are they dating right now? Is there any significant others or?
No significant others that I know of.
Okay.
And yes, they are all dating.
Okay, good, good. I know Natasha just moved out, right? Mm-hmm. How's that going for you? I know you've been an empty nester and then they come back. What?
I know they all came back during the pandemic, but which I loved. But now they're all out again. Although I'm going to get one, my youngest that just graduated from high school, he will be coming home soon.
Okay.
And because he was doing high school on the East Coast, but Natasha's doing great. She's loving being out and looks like she's living her best life. And I'm just mom, keeping mom's the word over here, letting her do her thing and trying not to be too opinionated about it.
You told Closer a while back that she wasn't dating enough, in your opinion. Do you think she's dating more now? Is that?
She's dating a lot now, yes. And I apparently had it wrong. She just wasn't telling me about all of her dates at the time, which is understandable.
Yeah.
She is dating, and I'm good with that. I'm happy she's dating.
Good.
I date the right guys.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your criteria for her, if you had to sum it up?
Oh, when it comes down to it, I just want them to love Jesus the way I love Jesus. Okay. That's all I really want. Is that too much to ask for?
And we have time for one more. Our number one goes to another one of our favorite 90s stars who is also a mom of two. Tiffany Thiessen shared how she is tackling that preteen phase with her daughter, Harper. Take a look.
Harper is she is a preteen. So What are the challenges that you have faced with that?
So I've been reading the book slowly, but reading this book called Untangled. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's literally about teenage girls and the changes that we emotionally go through, physically go through. And it's nothing I'm reading is something I didn't really know. Mm-hmm. It's almost a reminder. And I told my husband, I said, when I finish this book, you really should be the one reading this because you're a man. Like, you don't know these things. Like, a woman is totally different. Girls operate completely different. So I said, you're going to benefit actually even more reading this book than I am, but it's been a really good reminder. But,
that's
I remember being this age. I remember, I feel like there's a little bit of, so wanting your independence, so wanting to be older than you are, but then still needing that sort of young kind of, and needing that sort of support and protection. And she's right there, a lot of her friends are going through puberty. She hasn't fully gone through it yet. But it's a lot of that's happening right now. So a lot of emotions, a lot of emotions.
I see it with my nieces too. They're about that age.
Yeah.
Do you see either one of your kids following in your footsteps with acting, and would you want them to?
I don't see it now, and we of course don't push it. I love that my kids just want to be kids and play and go to school and have friends and sports and all the things that kids do at this age. I know my husband and I agree on this as well, that if they wanted to when they got older, we would support it completely. But I don't know if that's the path they're going to take. I mean, who knows? You never know. But I don't see it now. At all. Yeah. There's been no talk, or they haven't even been that inquisitive about what we do for a living. That's what we do for a living, that kind of thing.
Well, that wraps up a year of celebrity parenting on Moms Like Us. We hope you enjoyed. Have a very happy new year, and we'll see you in 2022.